Hey there, welcome to C&T Collectibles. I am C. Hope you're doing well. This is your weekly sports card chart blast where we take a look at the price action of our favorite collectibles. Price is truth. We'll go over the card ladder indices overall, then some of the individual sports, hit some of the risers and fallers, and any other names of note. All right, you like this kind of stuff? Like, subscribe, do all that, all those good things. And let's get at it here. Entertainment Index continues to lead the way, up 23% over the last period. Pokemon up 10% here. Golf, one of your bigger losers here, down 5%. This was one of your leaders, and that is starting to reverse. Entertainment Index, there's just a couple of names that are really carrying that thing, kind of in the PMG area, in some smaller cards here. So basketball, baseball getting a lift here. Football off just a little bit. The card ladder index overall up 40 basis points for the day, down 1.5% for the month, and up nearly 7, call it 6.5% for the quarter. So there's a lot of things that are working in card land. Death of cards is wildly overstated. All right, let's get into it a little bit here with some of the card ladder index components. These are some of the bigger names that they use to formulate their index. John Elway in a PSA 9, one of the bigger gainers in that index here, bringing him to the top of his range here. We've had a few one-offs, so we'll want to see a sustained break out of this bottoming pattern here before we can start to really move upwards. So right now your risk reward is unfavorable, but again, a couple of purchases up here could change things. One purchase up here has been rejected in the past, and we'll treat it as a one-off until we see a few more transactions in here to start to creep this thing back upwards. So back up to that area, probably not. There's a few people think this is the price. There's a lot of people that think this is the price. So there may be some more work done before you get people on the John Elway train to take that card higher. All right, Nolan Ryan and Jerry Kuzman, top of the range as well. Another big gainer out of the card ladder index here, and it's bringing itself to the that card's getting back to the top of its range. Risk reward unfavorable until we can see a nice sustained breakout. Gets a little bit thin once you get up here. So a lot of buying in here, very little bit here. So the risk reward unfavorable for the time being, as it is with most cards that have big weeks. So the ones that get beat up the most are usually the ones that are really attractive, but the ones that do really, really well tend to be the ones that are in for a bit of a reversal. All right, Kobe Bryant, another component in that index, having himself a good run here. So this was kind of your support zone, and you got close enough to the bottom of that one, and now you're starting to put in a potential bottom here. We'll need to see a lot more evidence. We don't know what happens in the future, but probabilities would say that at least historically, that this is where some buying should start to step in a bit here. So we are seeing a number of transactions here. It's getting thin, so you could have something push it out very quickly, or bring it back down to the bottom of this range very quickly. But for now, this is your support zone. Now, if it breaks below this, then you've got a new range to play with. But for now, I do think that the $10,000 area seems to be testing it quite a bit here. And I think that it doesn't matter what I think, but seeing this enough, the longer you test a certain line of resistance or support, the weaker it becomes. So the more it bumps its head up against that $10,000 area, the more likely it is that it just breaks right through, and you could see a couple grand higher on that particular card. That's the 96 Topps Chrome. Sidney Crosby, one of the bigger losers in the index here, and that's mostly because he had a rocket out of his range, and now you're coming back to retest it. So again, when you see these wild moves on one sale, it's like it's probably not terribly legit. Something like this makes a bit more sense. A nice stair step up, but when you see these one-offs or very few buyers, it's like, hey, I'm not buying that one. So, anyways, roundly smacked down back into his range, and so if you were patient and didn't chase that, good on you. This is probably more of the price here. Peyton Manning getting rejected at the resistance as well, so that trend remains down. Bring it into, it seems like a pretty good value, I guess. I don't know. It's Peyton Manning, for gosh sake. I don't understand why he's, let's see, the PSA 10 Chrome, you look at Tom Brady going around 15,000, 16,000 or something like that. It's like, does that line up at all? So for me, I'd look at like a lower grade and have some fun with it, because the market hates them, obviously. So I don't want to get too much at it or anything, but you can still have some fun with some of those lower grade cards here. All right, another card getting smacked down in that card ladder index is Luka Doncic. That's his silver in the PSE 10. So broken support and continues his trend down here. So we'll see if we can get some buying to step up and recapture this area, at least on that $2,500, $3,000 area. But right now it's below those well, it's about as low as it's been for a long time until it can recapture this area, then that is a no-go, again, for the time being. So things could change in a week. It doesn't take too much. All this stuff is pretty thinly traded. So Tiger Woods PSA 10 also, it says it was one of the bigger losers for the week here, but how can you tell? A lot of sideways action, and just continues to do so. All right, Stan Lee in the entertainment index, one of your bigger risers, bringing it up closer to the top of his range here. That is the 1990 Marvel Universe version here. So not a $4,000 card anymore, but this is more the price, whether it makes sense or not. It is what it is. And Anthony Daniels error, C3PO error in a PSA 8. Bringing it back up to its one of its higher levels that it's had here, so $600 or something like that. So it's been rejected here a few times. We'll see if it can manage to creep above that once again. And the Stanley Marble, one of the bigger losers as well. So it's a $13 card, but I think we threw this one up a week ago and said, oh geez, leaks outside the range. That's, so. Maybe we saved you like $5, so you're welcome. All right. Do a few baseball here. One of the bigger risers in the baseball index, Andy Pettitt. So he had a sneak down this range, and there was a couple sales here, so it's pretty legit, not really a one-off. And I guess I was the card I was looking for, but I would have totally picked one up at that price. But now that you're back around $40, that's just kind of the price, and not much you can do. But if you were paying attention, and I clearly wasn't, you could have got a good deal on that one here. I have been paying attention to this guy, and now we're starting to see a nice rip. So this is an area where selling has taken place in the past here, so that's a big move. So I don't think you need to chase it here. It's the base in the PSA 10, but I sure like what he can bring to the table this year. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of silly season for baseball now that the games back, spring training games are doing their thing. You're seeing a lot of these second and third tier guys really start to move up a bit on basically no news, and so we'll see what happens when the rubber meets the road. But there's some speculation and some froth coming into the market in certain areas here, and Yordan Alvarez is one. So again, that's not something I think you chase at this level here. Shoyotani, bottom of the range, ripping to the top of the range here. So he's been in a sideways consolidation. We've had a nice bump here, but it brings you into an area where selling has taken place in the past. That is Bowman in a PSA 9. So most exciting card ever? Probably not, but it is what it is. Bulbasaur. Here's another one. All right, so people are getting excited about the Blue Jays and what they're bringing to the table, and this is one of the lower dollar, one of the lower priced Blue Jays that has a lot of upside, and so I think it'll attract a lot of attention because if you want a Vlad Chrome PSA 10, you can spend hundreds of dollars. If you want a Bulbasaur, you can $50, $60 or something like that. So monster rip out of the zone. That's a breakout. Again, on that, we've seen these before, those one-offs, all right? So not saying like, hey, it's a clean breakout, but if it can retest and hold, then that is terrific. Otherwise, it likely falls back into the range. We'll see what happens. And unless he lights it up in spring training, then people will continue to chase this card. So we've talked about Bulbasaur plenty here. A lot of people have. Hopefully, you've done your Bulbasaur shopping in the off-season. Same with Pete Alonso. Monster move this week as well. So that is his base PSA 10, and it's really choppy with a lot of tails. And that's what happens with these lower dollar cards here. So that's a monster rip. I don't think it's anything you need to chase, but certainly a player that I find interesting at least here. So Mets, one of these days they got to figure it out, don't they? Vladimir Guerrero in a pink refractor PSA 10 with a monster move to the top of his range. So another one maybe. Just watch for the time being. A couple of cards that are getting beat up in the baseball universe. Derek Jeter BGS was at the 9.5. Getting smacked down to like $300. That's the Stadium Club. So it's only been down here a few times. It's been snapped up pretty quickly each time. So there's your sell area, and that what is that, $400 or $500? And if you're able to get it, then currently 200 or something like that. If there's a couple more available there, then good on you. So with these one-offs, typically they're one-offs because there's only one. So if there's a bunch of them available at $200, or there's a couple people that think, hey, that's the price and they're willing to sell it, good luck, man. That seems like a pretty good price here. And we'll check out Fernando Tatis Jr. because he's riding motorcycles. I mean, how many, like skiing, motorcycles, basketball, like how many players aren't allowed to do that? I don't know how it got through his head, like, yeah, I'll ride my motorcycle, have multiple accidents because I can't quite pinpoint which one I broke my wrist on. It's like, oh my God. The market is willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that he can come back soon and pick up where he left off. So we're not seeing any blood, and looking at his regular Chrome and a number of other cards, it was kind of the same thing. We're just not seeing a lot of blood. people aren't willing to get rid of it at this price. And you don't have a lot of people willing to step in and buy at this price either. But we aren't seeing these massive drops or anything like that. So for now, we'll see, what happens. But people are just kind of leaving it alone for a bit, which might be the best of all worlds, the best of all possible outcomes for people holding Tatis stuff right now here. So really high end stuff. Who knows how that plays out? But Matt Chapman traded to the Blue Jays, and he started out a monster player, 7-8 win seasons or 6 and 7 win seasons, terrific defense, great bat. And then he started getting hurt a bit, and he had the partial season. He had hip surgery a year and a half ago, so he's going to have to be healthy. But he's getting some love here, and his PSA 10 is getting into that $30 range here. So it's been kind of a double, and from a low level, so not hard to do or anything like that. But we'll see if this maintains itself here. If he's able to have a good spring training, show that he's healthy. If he can get back to being like a 30 home run guy, hitting 260, 270 or something like that, that's a big deal. But for me, I have a couple of his cards that are a little bit more limited, not anything crazy fancy or anything like that. But if he does have a really good season, then I think I would personally just take the opportunity to lighten the load just a bit here. Again, he had a really late start, started tracking. This is the average WAR of third baseman in the Hall of Fame, and this is Matt Chapman's path here. So he came out like a shot. Tracking pretty well, but again, the last couple seasons, he's just been off, and he's a little too far off the path for me to say, if I have a card that's a couple $100, I just want to hang on to it. It's like, nah, it's just, if he's able to put up a good season and the market gets interested in him again, then it's probably more for selling. So that's the way that I look at it, if with his long-term path kind of in doubt here. Freddie Freeman signing with the Dodgers, top of the range. Who knows? I mean, put his price up there with, is he like a Mookie Betts or anything like that? If he is, then the price has some room up to that 250, 300. If he's got that same career path with the Dodgers, I mean, who knows here? And he does have an MVP under his belt, so if you can consider him similar to that caliber player like a Mookie Betts, he's up in rarefied air. So there are too many players that Freddie Freeman needs to compare himself to. But for card purposes, if it is like that Mookie Betts type, then 250, 300, and there's some room for. Right now, your risk reward sets up a little bit unfavorably. And Trevor Story rumored to go to the Twins, and that's what happens when you get rumored to go to the Twins. Your card prices tank into an area where you should totally buy. So not advice at all. All right, so football risers and fallers. Matty Ice, one off back into the range. That's your price. Boring as it is. Tom Brady, he's back. His base PSA 10 still sitting at the top of the range. People are smart about it this time. It's not like he's going to add to his legacy or anything. I mean, he's going to add to it, but he's not going to hurt it. I mean, he's kind of settled what he is, best of all time here. So top of the range. Maybe there hasn't been a sale since the last week. I don't know, but his cards aren't showing much reaction here. Here's the raw version for us schmucks. Kind of at the middle to lower end of the range here. So when it leaks below, it's a buy, and gets above on these one-offs, then it's a sell. But right now, you're closer to the bottom than the top of that range, I think, for the most part. So it may present a little better opportunity here. Moses Malone, one of the bigger risers in basketball land. I can't figure out why he was one of the bigger risers, but he's sitting at the bottom of his zone here. So there he is, bottom of the zone. One of Moses Malone. It seems like as good a price as you've had for a while. In a PSA 7, Zion Williamson, a PSA 10, that's the silver. Breaking his downtrend here. A lot of love right there, but it was a little too much too fast. It was pretty limited transactions, so they just ran out of buyers for the most part. Now you come in an area where there's been a little bit more sustainability, so maybe there's a little bit of downside. Maybe it just grinds it overall. But breaking that downtrend, he's probably more of a buy the dip territory here. And Steph Curry, PSA 9, 21.5, bottom of the range, and starting to get some love here, and there's room for some upside on that particular card here. And Anthony Edwards, I was at a Timberwolves game the other night, and the dude could do whatever he wanted. He could, whatever shot he wanted, he would find a way to get it, and then he would make it. So that's a pretty good thing there. So the PSA silver, not anything I would spend that kind of money on or anything like that, but it's at the top of the range. So there's a decent accumulation, but it is continuing to grind lower. But there's raw stuff you can have for a fraction of that, and maybe that's more interesting. So all right, Austin Matthews for hockey continues to grind upwards in the kind of this wedge formation. So it's bearish when it breaks, but it hasn't broken yet. Still heading in the right direction here, and he's having a very good season here. Quinn Hughes leaking into breaking really his support zone. There was nothing here before, so Now the market has some memory on that one. So here's your support zone. It quickly leaked into here and it was snapped up. And now you're just back to where you started. Return to the scene of the crime. So if you're looking for that card that's like monster upside, probably not. Monster downside, looks like it's going to be picked up pretty quickly if it does leak too much lower. And some of the hockey guys that have gotten beat up here, Stevie Y in a PSA 7, coming back into buy territory, 60, 70 bucks or something like that. You're pretty close to that. So you sell around 100 something and you buy around 50 or 60 and rinse repeat, I suppose. So Laffy, his friends call him here. So top of the range and getting smacked down into a zone where we've seen like one sale. It was picked up really quickly. So uncharted territory for this one, so it may present a really nice opportunity to buy. I don't know how he's playing and like that, but I'm not seeing it on a lot of leaderboards here. So those rookies, man, just let them do their thing for a little bit, which is usually not anything, and then come in a bit later. So Laffy about as low as he's ever been, except for that one-off. So it could be a great opportunity, but could continue to go lower. And one of the hotter sectors in the sports card industry is the sports card market is Pokemon. And we've got a number of big rippers on that one here. Charmander is one of the bigger names here. $300 card. It was it was like 100. It was like up like 50% or something like that. So we have seen this before. And so we'll see what happens on this one here. My guess is it comes back down here. But who cares what my guess is? The dad would say, hey, it's a breakout. So I'd be patient on that one for the most part here. Bulbasaur. Kind of the same thing. You had your downtrend broken, retest, and now your buy area. Now you've got a couple $100 upside to that sell zone if you're looking for that. But again, very thin volume, so it could come back very, very quickly. No need to chase that one. And Charizard was one of your bigger fallers, and that's no joke. It'd be just 9.5. That's a $2,000+ card. So that thing's getting pushed around like you wouldn't really think. So anyways, we've got kind of the breakout, and then back down towards the bottom of the range could present a decent opportunity if that is a card you are looking for. Venusaur also smacked down to the bottom of the range, PSA 7. So there you go. We'll wrap it up with some soccer. That was an index that is not doing too poorly. And my friend Fabian, over at Undrafted Player, one of the more sincere collectors out there. His channel is just fun to watch. Puts a smile on your face every time, and he keeps his videos to like 3 or 4 minutes, which is terrific. So he likes the soccer stuff. So let's do a couple soccer here. So Kylian Mbappe, the gold PSA 9, bottom of the range, ripping out of it on low volume here. This is kind of your price, and so again, limited upside I think after that kind of a run here. And I don't even know how to pronounce that one. I know how to pronounce Felix, though. I can pronounce Felix, and I can pronounce number 10. So there's the PSA 10 out of that one in the 2019, or is that 2018? That's kind of weird. It says 2018, but isn't that the 2019 style? That's baseball anyway, so I don't know. Maybe the seasons are a little bit different. Anyways, bigger rip here. Broken down trend, retest, and now top of the Rangers squad is unfavorable for the time being. And wrap it up with Lionel Messi, one of your bigger droppers here. And kind of had your sell zone up in that $500, $600, $700 area or something like that. It just absolutely smacked down. So again, probably a one-off. If you can get that price, seems like a pretty good price, but may have just been a weird transaction, and that's how it goes sometimes. So again, those one-offs, like, hey, yeah, buy. It's like, well, if you can. I don't know how many are out there at that price. There, someone got lucky. That's how it goes. And hope everyone has a great weekend. I don't know how to segue into that one or how to finish it. So anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you later. Bye.